Humidity is real in this area. It's ridiculous. God, look at that. You can't even see anything. Normally I use an ND filter on my camera. Might have to go with that today. It's gonna be rather overcast. We got a hurricane coming and stuff too. I take off the ND filter at nighttime because I don't need it and it makes my image too dark. But for daytime, I like to have it on. It gives me that nice depth of field look that I can try to get some vignetting and all that kind of stuff. It's just the look I like. For some reason, I tend to grab this princess cup. I need to find one about the same size. I like the size. Oh, this head cold needs to go away. I feel all nasally like Britney Spears or something. I was gonna try to vlog outside, but I'm not really sure how the footage will turn out to be because it's kind of windy. Understandably, we have a storm coming through. This is actually like the first time I've used a GorillaPod for what it's meant for. To be able to stick on stuff like poles, to be able to have this. Like I can actually talk to the camera without extending my arm out and making it go so tired. That camera's heavy. This thing is heavy. So kind of doing a little camera inception right now. We'll see how the shot goes. I might try doing it more often. It's like I don't have too much backgrounds to work with around my house. I've shot a lot of photos back here and it just, looks nice. It's not a bad little spot, but everywhere else is got toys everywhere over there. Got a porta potty on this side, wood fence, houses around. This kind of looks like I have a bigger backyard than I really do, but oh, so my morning didn't start out so well. I got into a fender bender. It was kind of like one of those things to where it's hard to prove if it was not my fault. I ran into someone else, like rear into somebody else, but it was one of those things I was, you got 4 lanes, you got 1, 2, 1, 2, you got the middle lane. So I was in the left-hand side of the right side of the road, and going down, this pickup truck decided to turn into the turning lane, but then he kind of hesitated and stopped and looked like he was unsure if that was the right turn kind of thing. And I ended up getting the corner of his bumper. Didn't do anything to his because he had a Silverado truck, it had the steel bumper and all that kind of stuff, but my poor Toyota Prius, I might have to say goodbye to that thing. It's been a long ride. We've had so many trips with that thing. We've been to so many places in that car. Saved so much gas because of that car, and because of that car, because we saved so much gas, we were able to go on a lot of different kinds of trips. Even Kristen be able to take on some different kind of job opportunities for some brand ambassador kind of stuff. To be able to drive that to New Orleans or Atlanta and different places like that to save money, and it just worked out really nice that way. But so don't know if it's gonna be totaled yet or not, but probably it's gonna be totaled because the car is not really worth that much right now. That was my morning, and I kind of joked around. I was on the way back home, Kristen, she came out and got me. Heading back home, I'm like, I still haven't had my coffee. Like, that was actually a pretty big concern of mine because I could feel it. I mean, for one, all the nerves going because of the accident, and then, I don't know, I just need that little bit of pick-me-up for the mornings. So that brought me to today's subject, today's topic. And even on the way to the destination, I was fixing to try to go to men's breakfast, then record a podcast with John after we were done with the breakfast. But on the way, I was like, yesterday talking about what a testimony, what your story is or is not. And a lot of people get caught up in like the bad parts of their life. This is, what happened here, what happened there. It wasn't the greatest decisions, all this kind of stuff. But, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that was a long time ago. It could be something that's happened like this week or even today. And the thing about vlogging, and this is like a whole other separate video, but just to kind of touch on it because it really has something to do with what I want to talk about today. And I'm sorry if it's windy, but I wanted to be outside for recording this part. I didn't want to be inside. So if it's windy, just forgive me, and the camera's moving a little bit because of the wind, so I get to change up the camera angle just a little bit. But like really, it's finding the story in your everyday. And this isn't like for the purpose of necessarily you're trying to create vlogs or you're trying to share stuff on social media. You're finding the story within the day. You're looking for something that's different, unique, the best parts of the day to talk about, or even just to remember. And if you need to snap a photo to remember like an object so you remember that time, whatever it is, like you're trying to find the story within the day. And that's something that I want to encourage you to do, because there's so many times where we just kind of get caught up in the everyday mundane kind of stuff, to where we're just caught up in work, we're caught up in all the stuff that we got to get done during the day. But if we could just kind of slow down just a little bit, we could find some really unique stuff that can make a difference in your day. So my storytelling part of the day, I'm gonna turn this back around. The wind is catching it. It's probably just gonna end up going where it wants to go anyways. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna try to finish this up because I don't know what the audio is gonna sound like, so I hope it sounds okay. But I remember back in 2007, I was working at MFU's summer camp. I was one of the track leaders, and one of the things that I encouraged my campers every day was to look for an opportunity. Look for an opportunity to make a difference in whatever kind of way. It could be just an encouraging word, it could be helping somebody out, it could be, in that case, sometimes sharing the gospel with somebody else. It doesn't necessarily have to be like thumping somebody over the Bible with that kind of stuff, but usually sometimes just that small act of kindness would be able to open up a door for a bigger conversation. So that's what I want to encourage you guys to do too, is finding that story is just another way of saying look for an opportunity to make a difference. And that's something I want to try to make prevalent in this channel, in these videos that I make, because it's a challenge to myself as well. And it's something that I'm challenging myself as well. It's not just something I'm trying to tell other people to do, or something that I'm really good at and I just need to share that kind of knowledge. It's something that I'm gonna actually be on a journey with you guys throughout this whole process. So yeah, let me know something today that stood out to you, or maybe something yesterday, maybe you just got your day going today. But tell me something in the comments about maybe something you might have overlooked, or maybe something, if you weren't slowing down, that you would have missed. And are there ways that you could kind of just slow down during the day? Maybe you just need to kind of step away from a desk for a moment, or just change something up so that way you don't just see the same thing every day. Wind or not, I'm going to share this one part of the story, and something that stuck out to me was being able to have that kind of peace even in a tough situation. Like, obviously getting in a car wreck, no matter how big or small, it disturbs your day in some way. And my nerves were going a little bit, just because more so, I can't believe this just happened, what the heck, this sucks kind of thing. It wasn't anger, or I was mad at the guy, or even at myself for what happened. One of the things that I'm thankful for that section of the day, that it could have been worse, but I had a friend roll up, Mike Jag, and he just checked on me. He's a local firefighter, he goes to our church, he's a friend, and he checked on me. Like, he could have kept on going, he could have sent a text, but he came back around, pulled up behind the car. The police was like just a few seconds behind, but I mean, that's just cool to have friends like that that'll stop and check on you when you're in a moment of trouble.